Greetings, amazing scholars. I had a question on number 36 of the My Math Lab homework for Module 3, so I thought I would take advantage of the opportunity to show you how to quickly and easily calculate your surface area, volume, or really any formula problems that you have, how to calculate those quickly using an Excel spreadsheet. So let's get to work. I'm going to just do the first two parts of this because that'll give you the idea of how to use the spreadsheet to calculate your formulas. So the first thing I have to summarize this problem, I'm looking at the surface area of a sphere. So again, these two half spheres create a whole sphere, so I get to use this whole entire formula. If I only had a semi-sphere at the top, I would use half of this formula. So the formula is 4 times pi times the radius squared. So don't forget that this is showing you the whole diameter and that the radius is only half of that diameter. So I came over here to Excel and I set all this up by first just typing in the name of my variables, the radius, the height. I'm looking for the surface area, and then in the next part I'm going to look for the volume. And then I also labeled that I'm doing the sphere and then the lateral area of the cylinder. So in this case, the first formula that they gave me is for the surface area of the sphere, and then the second formula that they're going to give me is for the surface area of the lateral portion of the cylinder. Again, I don't need the formula for the end caps of the cylinder because I'm going to be replacing that with the semispheres. All right, so my formula for the surface area of the sphere is right here. Let me just highlight these so you guys can see. Look at that. And highlight this. All right, so the formula, I have it all typed in here. You can see that it does match the formula over here in the example. It's 4 times pi times the radius squared. And you can see I did 4 times pi, and you do have to type it in just like I did here to make yours work, times the radius. And I cell referenced this cell for the radius because later on I'm going to come back and plug different numbers in, and Excel's going to do all the calculations for me. So I have cell referenced that, and it has given me 314 square feet. And then for the cylinder formula, over here you can see I had 2 times pi, which matches what I have over here, 2 times pi times the radius, cell referenced again, and then times the height. And the height, you can see right here, if you don't know what cell referencing is, this column Charlie, row 4, column Delta, row 4, I've just either typed those in or clicked on them. All right, and then for this final part right here, for these totals, I'm going to turn this yellow so you guys can see it easily. I got 817 square feet. Well, if you look here on this example, it does in fact have the same answer, so I know that it's correct. So now I can close out my example. Well, I guess I'll just go on. I was going to do this differently, but I've already got this open, so I'll just show you. Here for the formula, they kind of skipped the steps of adding the two pieces together and just gave us the entire formula here. This is the 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed is the formula for the volume of a sphere. So that is where this came from. And you can see I've got that same formula typed in here. And then on this one, I have the lateral area for the cylinder, the volume for that. And that's the second part that they've given us here, this pi times radius squared times the height. And again, you can see I cell referenced and I have that formula typed in there. And then for this cell, I have added those two together. And something you didn't get to see me do on the surface area is change these decimal values. You see how I have so many decimals here? And I'm sure somewhere in this problem, it says to round to the nearest integer. So I can just go to the top of my Excel page and move the decimals over. If it said hundredths place, I would stop there. If it said tenths place, I would stop there. But this is a full integer, so I'll just set it like that. All right, so now I know I have the answers correct for these first two parts. I have 1,780 cubic feet for the volume. So I'm going to close those out. And now, well, I've already done this here. All I did is I came over here and I changed my radius to 8, right? 8, just kidding. That's the diameter. So we know that our radius is 4. And then my height here is 21. And voila, you can see that my surface area is 729. I've already entered that value. It said it was correct. And here I enter my cubic feet measure of 1,324 and check my answer, and it is correct. All right, and then the next piece, you guys do the same thing here, except you're going to have different formulas. You're going to keep the formula for this part of the cylinder, for the lateral part of the cylinder, that is going to stay the same, but instead of 2 semi-spheres being calculated, you're going to calculate the area of a cone, and you can do the entire cone, because even though you're not going to use the circle at the bottom of this cone that's sitting on the top, there's still a circle at the bottom of the cylinder. So if that makes sense to you, hopefully it does, but you can just follow the formulas and plug them into Excel using your examples, and then go back through and plug in the numbers for your actual problems. I hope this video helped. Have a fabulous night.